Your feelings are not the facts, they're only suggestions. Welcome to Thank God It's Monday. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. Joining me is Ted Fells, and we are the Digital Dudes. And today we're going to talk to you about one simple step that can change the trajectory of your life. Now, Ted, I have to admit this. This is a confession I have. Like, for a moment, this was on last Thursday. There was a moment last Thursday where I mistook my feelings for the facts. I was listening to my feelings, and I mistook my feelings for the fact.
Is
And
this
I,
is this one of those times you're going to apologize to me for something you said or did, or I mean, kind of?
oh no, that's another episode. This
It's
is
another
something different.
episode. All right,
That's the next
cool,
episode. Tune
cool,
in for that, everybody.
cool,
But
cool.
I didn't feel like going to the gym. My feelings were talking to me. I have the desire to go to the gym every day. But this morning, and it might have, yeah, I'll tell you all this later, but it might have been this thing where I was listening to my feelings instead of, what I need to do. And my feelings were talking. And I wrestled with this thought of sleeping in. And then finally, I just went ahead and I decided to go forward and do it anyway. And here's what happened. I felt 100% better after I did it. And there wasn't a moment last Thursday where I regretted my decision to go to the gym. Now, here's the big takeaway. Here's what I learned, and this is what applies to you as well, is that you don't feel your way into acting. You act your way into feeling. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You don't feel your way into acting. You act your way into feeling. And in other words, it's not like you sit around waiting for it to be inspired to go to the gym, or waiting to be inspired to write your blog post, or waiting to be inspired to create your podcast episode. Once you start acting, that's when the feeling kicks in. And this leads to the one simple step that can change your trajectory in life. And here it is. You have to build a routine around what you need to do. Build a routine. See, when you build a routine, it makes it automatic, and you get to a point where you don't have to think about it. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like, there's never been a time where I've said to myself, I don't feel like brushing my teeth. I just don't feel like it. It's been a long day and I don't feel like it. No, because it's a routine. It's automatic. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if I miss my alarm clock. I'm always going to brush my teeth. It's just a built-in automatic response because I've set up a routine that's made it automatic. And that's the key. So whatever you need to do.
I'm glad to hear that, Eric.
Right, that's good news, right? That's good news
on
a Monday morning.
Throughout the day
are glad
that's a routine.
You have to build that into you have to build things into your routine because it gets to a point where you don't have to think about it. And that's really the key. And those little decisions that you think of that are insignificant, that decision when you don't feel like it and you do it anyway, and you're supposed to do it, over time, it impacts where you end up. It seems insignificant that little one day, that's one small decision, but over time, it's the difference between hitting your goal and not. And that's why we say it changes your trajectory. And if you build a routine around what you need to do, you'll be positioned to shout, "Thank God it's Monday." Ted, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great points. I mean, if it's routine, I will tell you though, last week there were several. I take this class where we work out, a couple days a week, and every so often our trainer takes off a week. And last week my intention was to get in there each of those days. I did one day because there's some other days that I said, you know what, I am going to sleep in. Now today I paid for it when he came back today because he jumped right back into it. But what you're saying is true. I mean, if it's a routine, you will continue to do it. Doesn't mean that sometimes you're not going to feel like doing it though. I mean, I'm just going to be, there's days that you're like, don't feel like going to the gym. There's days I don't feel like going to, you know, certain events and things like that. I ain't feel like going into the office or whatever on some days. But if it's routine, you'll snap back to it, right? Because I listen to people all the times. They talk about business, like, oh man, you can just take off whenever you want, right? You can take off whenever you want. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. I'm like, you're right. But if I don't do it, it's not going to get done, right? So you have to be able to have that, I guess that whatever that is in you that pushes you through to do whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's your business or your podcast or your book or whatever it is that you set your mind to do. You gotta push through it because some days you're not gonna feel like it. Again, that's just human nature. But if you continue to do it, you know, um, you'll achieve your goals, and that's what's most important.
For sure. And that's an interesting perspective from an entrepreneur standpoint. That having routines is critical because there's a lot of things with your business that need to be done,
Yeah.
right? But if you have routines built in, you're more likely to do it because it's automatic. You don't really have to think about it. It's just part of what you do. Very important. Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of routines, I know you're watching me now and you may have a podcast and you're trying to grow your downloads, you're trying to monetize that thing, and maybe you don't have routines. We could talk about that on April 15th. It's a Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern. This is the first time we've ever done this, right? It's how to monetize your podcast and explode your downloads. You can join us on April 15th. The link is going to be in the show notes and in the comments section. You can bit.ly/April 15th masterclass. We hope to see you there. That's our time for this week on Thank God It's Monday. Remember to build a routine around what you need to do. It will change the trajectory of your life.